I want us to talk is that is it possible that a born again Christian, let alone a minister, like a GO, in fact let's put it what it is it possible that someone like that gets deceived?
Yes, it's possible.
Even at that, because it's almost scary. If someone hears that someone like that gets deceived, okay, that's like, okay, I'm done, I give up, I can't even try anymore.
It's possible, but most times I believe that before the person actually gets deceived like that, there would have been promptings and warnings.
Okay,
which the person probably didn't pay attention to.
Okay.
And maybe perhaps in this our particular case, because age was not so much on her side, so some anxiety probably set in. If not, yes, it's possible to be deceived, but at the same time, before you can be deceived, the Holy Spirit would have given you promptings, which you probably ignored, and then led to your being deceived.
Marriage and relationship. You know, there's this, I don't know, desperation that's going on right now among young people. Especially when a woman is now celebrating 27th birthday, now 28, 35, oh God, when is this going to happen? Then what begins to happen is that the time that the person should take to actually pray and seek God's face, doesn't get done. Like
depends on whether we're able to hear or obey. But we have some things in our mind already that are pushing us. God, we will not hear God. God doesn't shout. So that's why you need that quietness and personal, touch with God. That's when He will actually speak. Like she said, sister didn't really pray. She was only desperate.
I mean, so man on the altar is from man in the bedroom.
When he prays, miracle happens. When he does this happens. That's the anointing. That's the gift of God upon his life. That's not the man he is once he leaves that pulpit.
Exactly. And when he speaks, God will honor His word and cause things to happen and bless the people. That does not mean God is approving His personal love. So there are two separate things.
So there can be men of God that allows.
Yes.
Let me just put it.
And women of God too that
have both ways now that allows.
Welcome back. It's decisions, and we're still talking about Hoodwinked. Before we went on the break, we just analyzed the fact that being married to a pastor does not automatically make you a pastor, or when your spouse has a calling does not mean God has called you to full-time ministry, and all of that things that we've analyzed. Okay, now let's talk about people that are not in issues here, that they are not in a place where they are picking ministry or divorce. Let's talk about, before you get there, there's this general air around that make people say, don't tell people the issues going on in your marriage. When you have an issue, try to solve it. Like, don't bring a third party. When should a lady know that this one is out of my hand? Like we say, I look at balance, you don't pass, be careful. When is the person be careful?
Well, I would say that initially, as much as possible, a couple should try to resolve issues within themselves. Okay. But if all efforts to be able to resolve it between themselves doesn't seem to be working out, then it may be important to look for people they look up to it shouldn't just be anybody.
Okay.
People that you can consider mentors.
Yeah.
Okay? Those are the people that you need to talk to at that time. And many times I usually say, it shouldn't be other parents.
Okay.
Alright? Now these people we're talking about shouldn't be parents of the two people involved. The reason I say that is that there's that tendency for parents to be biased.
Yes.
Okay? So let it not be their parents, no matter how spiritual they are. Alright? There is that woman element that may make them want to be biased.
Okay.
So, but there will always be people that you can look up to spiritually, who probably know you. That's also important. They know both of you, okay, from when you maybe started growing, when you were cutting, you know, and all that, and can sit two of you down objectively, and then you can discuss the issues. And of course, the fact that you went to them means that whatever advice they are giving to you, you will be willing to
Okay,
take
Deaconess
it.
Agbawa, at what point should you go and meet these mentors? Is it at when you just started probably late nights, or you have done late nights 3 months stretch? At what point?
The late night one is a big issue. I should say before it gets to that point.
Okay.
Or if suddenly he started keeping late nights, she should look for somebody who can talk to him. The problem with this lady that she's the general overseer, she's at the top. So which member of the congregation is she? She's not looking up to anybody, so to speak. But maybe outside her church, and maybe some other men of God, there are people who have this ministry, like my sister has ministry for marriages. You should bring in those people to speak.
Problem with most ministers is that they are usually lonely in God. They're just on their own on that pedestal. They don't have people that they can look up to. And people always see them as, oh, that's that person that's there. So what do we tell ministers about keeping friends, Pastor Vera?
When it comes to this kind of issues, one of the first things you want to do is to ensure that you have somebody you are accountable to. Very important. And I always tell young people, don't marry anybody who has nobody he's accountable to. Nobody that will tell him sit down and he will sit down is a dangerous person to marry. So no matter how high up you are in ministry, you must have somebody who can tell you sit down there
and tell you are wrong.
And tell you are wrong to your face, and you'll be ready to swallow it. Very important. But then there's something, you know, in Genesis 2, the Bible says after Adam had sinned and his wife, the first problem that came was the problem in their home. And the first thing they started doing was to get leaves to start covering themselves. I believe that many marriages would have been helped if at the initial stage they were not looking for leaves to cover themselves. They are still wearing and go to church.
They just quarreled.
They quarreled all the way to church. Okay? But then they are wearing the same cloth. Nobody has to know. And they keep bottling this thing until it gets to the breaking point. So I believe that as Dr. Esiche said, at that initial time where you will have tried between yourselves, you were not able to resolve quickly. Don't say, people will now, you know, there are some people who come to me, they say, my husband doesn't like a third party to know. And you are dying. Well, how long? But then there's something else I wanted to point out, you know, and it's a mistake this lady made. The thing is, just assuming that because somebody is in church and the person is fervent, so the person is a Christian. Very, very, these are critical times. There are people who there are false.
Okay, let's let them go there. That's still like three
steps away.
What's the role of the church for young couples? When you are told, or when one of them come to meet you, or someone, a third party comes to meet, these people are having issues, or is there a way the church can decipher without knowing, like just seeing a couple, like shouldn't pastors, is this not something on group leaders, home cell leaders, there's something you should know that okay, something is not wrong, like is there not something the church can do about it, even if the individuals are not willing to come out plain?
It would be wrong to just approach both of them. What I will say is this: if church, maybe home cell level or whatever level, you observe that all is not well as a couple, I will advise that whichever one of them you are close to, and most times it's women that speak out, alright? The man will not tell you anything. So if there's anybody that is close to the woman, you can go to her to ask her what's happening, okay? Believing that she would open up.
Especially for women that are being abused physically.
So believing that she will open up to tell you what is happening. And then if she does open up to tell you what is happening, then you can take it up from there.
Okay.
But the truth remains that if they're having issues and they're not ready to open up to anybody, then there's very little you can do.
That's the truth.
Okay, let's just move ahead. For this young man, now there have been two different opinions from people. Some people say it's just the money. This is just someone from the pit of hell. But some persons are saying you brought a guy that just people are thinking he's still power got him corrupted, as it were. So should you? Let's not even talk about marriage. In church, when you see someone so fervent, how quick should you give the person a leadership position, as well? Some persons believe that give him a leadership position to make him responsible, to make him go fast. Some persons believe that give him a leadership position it will crumble him. So is there a fast and track rule to this, Pastor Vera?
The Bible is clear on this. Apostle Paul was writing to Timothy. He said, don't place a novice in authority. Don't give him responsibility so that he doesn't get puffed up with pride and then he falls into condemnation of the devil. So these days, a lot of things going on in church. I mean, you don't want this person to run away from your church. So he's just 2 months old in the Lord. You already made him a deacon. He's not yet established. You know? So there has to be that grooming time, allowing this person to grow. And you see, many of these people who got converted out of the demonic world, maybe they were Satanists and the rest, that's the thing that killed most of them. Because as soon as they got born again, they were not given time to be discipled, to grow. And so they just went out, they were already preaching, and then they fell into the hand of the devil. Not that they were not converted, but they didn't allow them to grow. So there has to be that time of growth before we begin to give people serious responsibility in the house of God.
Okay, and we need to be careful about positions, really. For anybody who is sincerely born again, right? Whether they give you a post or they don't give you a post shouldn't affect the things that you do in church. It's a spirit walk. It's a spirit walk. It's not a secular thing that you'll be looking for positions, and all that. Because some sometimes come in with those positions in mind.
Precisely.
They come in with those positions in mind. So they walk their way. And then you are looking at it, he's very zealous, he's very committed, he's very this. But he has an agenda.
Okay.
That's why he came in with all of that zeal.
Okay. Let's go back to Deaconess Araba. So now for everybody out there, because there are a lot of persons that are in their ministries are dying, their marriages are dying, and that some of them are about walking away from their marriages to save their ministry and all of that. What would you advise, or what's your take on it?
What we advise, what we said before. That minister, no matter his position, there must be somebody that he or she looks up to.
Okay.
You should get to that person. This image that many of our ministers carry is destructive. Like she says, they are infallible, they know everything, you cannot talk to them. Even if they are misbehaving, there's not one member of the church who can ever rebuke the man of God. I've seen it so many places and it just amazes me.
Okay.
So he's a man. A man of God is a man. And you see a man of God going wrong, nobody goes to correct him. If you even volunteer to do that, other people will discourage you. And then there are some of them that are really, really big. If you go there, how dare you, And so it becomes a pitfall. I think they should be humble. They should remember that they are still in the flesh and that they can make mistakes. And members should stop worshipping or whatever they are called. They should stop worshipping them, because some of them actually start where they are called, they are humble, they are doing the work of God, and because of what they are doing, people start hero worshipping them, and then the shoulders begin to swell, and then they become incorrigible.
Okay. Mark, Dr. Steve, so saving a marriage, saving the ministry, should there be a priority right now after all the deed has been done?
For this particular case?
Yes.
All right. The ministry is important. As for the marriage, the way I see things now, it looks as if the man is unrepentant.
Okay.
Okay. And in as much as I won't advocate that they be divorced, just like the mentor was telling him, all right. But I think that he needs to be given some space. They need to give each other some space. Okay, for now. All right. For the sake of the ministry too.
Okay.
Now, because if he continues to sleep around in church and all that, that's not good for the image of the church. Okay? So what I would advise is this. let the church, like I said earlier, church members ought to have been brought in. The council, I'm sure they have an inner council that she would have been able to confide in before things got to that situation. And then if they knew, if there's anything they could have done to check him, they should do it. But for now, the way out of the situation is this. They need to give themselves some space. I'm not talking of divorce.
So it's short separation.
Yes. Perhaps praying for him. There is nobody that cannot be helped. There's nobody that cannot be converted. Alright? So maybe if you give him that kind of space, God helping everybody, he could not genuinely repent and then come back to himself. Alright? But as for the ministry, they need to do a lot of work, because from what she said, everything has scattered, and all that. And that's why I felt that something was wrong from the very beginning, because if not, it's like everything was just hinging
on her.
On her. Everything was hinging on her. And the moment the husband misbehaved, the whole church just
broke down. Okay, man, let's talk about church, in a way of wrapping up and giving her solutions. How should she have, what kind of safeguards should she have put in place for the church, so that when one person dies, for example, even if she had died physically, the church could continue? And how can she save her marriage?
There are many things that people can stomach when it comes to pastors and pastors' wives. Oh, pastor ate church money. People can manage that. Pastor did that one. People can manage. But when it comes to adultery, it's a very big issue. Okay? Now, for this woman, I think for where this has gotten to now, what she would have put in place, like I said, you said we should postpone that, is the choice from the beginning. That was the first safeguard. The choice was wrong from the beginning. Then, over the space of time that they were together, what were the discussions? What went on before you just brought him to become a pastor? What did you see? Those safeguards would have been there. And then now that she's landed here, I think I agree totally with you. What needs to be done is there to be separation. If she's not going to lose her mind, lose the ministry, lose her life. Many people have gone through this and they say, no, sit down there, sit down. People have died. So I don't think this is a sit-down thing. They should be separated for a while. Let her be praying. Let him come to his senses. Anytime it takes for him to come to his senses, then they can move on.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, it just occurred to me. It's possible the woman was so busy with the ministry work that she didn't pay attention to her husband. And maybe it was out of frustration, being that the woman is up there and he is a nobody and he's not receiving any attention from the wife at home, that drove him into drinking.
Okay, so that for that, we're just going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. Okay, don't go anywhere. Welcome back. It's decisions, and we're still talking about Hoodwinked. Before we went on the break, we just analyzed the fact that being married to a pastor does not automatically make you a pastor, or when your spouse has a calling does not mean God has called you to full-time ministry, and all of that things that we've analyzed. Pastor Vera, there are a lot of young ladies, since we're talking about ladies, let's just talk about ladies, or even young men, but a lot of people that have been called, they've received a call into ministry. And what are the guidelines? You started ministry from scratch, so what are the guidelines you will give them? Like, I think during the break, Dr. Isichi and Dickness, we were talking about how nobody wants to serve under any other person. They want to just start up their own ministry. So what are the guidelines you would give? Would you say start yours, work with somebody, do this, be in a relationship, like that?
Okay, first of all, I would say when God calls you to the ministry, it's usually like an announcement as to what He wants to do with your life. That does not mean that next week now, you go and put a signboard in front of your compound Mount Zion of people moving to heaven assembly. That's not the idea. The idea now is that God has pre-informed you so that now you need to prepare. And Kenneth Hagin used to say preparation time is never wasted time. You must serve under a ministry. You must serve. Look at Elijah and Elisha. That discipleship period was crucial. Sometimes it may look like, oh, it's taking a long time. A young lady told me the other time, but Pastor, look at my age. After all, Jesus started ministry at 30. I need to start something. I said, it's not time. They used to do this thing. God is the owner of the work. It is not your assignment. The way people are carrying ministry now, it looks as if it's a personal business. It's become too personal. So God has told you, yes, He wants you to serve Him. Serve under a ministry and learn. And as we are learning, the Bible says that all Israel, from Dan to Beersheba, knew that Samuel had been called. Your pastor will know that there's something about this person. They begin to give you opportunities, and God will begin to open doors here and there. The time will come where God will open the door, and you will know. And again, to be honest, that God called you doesn't mean you should start a personal ministry. This new thing that has come is a big problem. That God called you doesn't mean you are now looking the people. The next prayer, God, what is the name of the ministry? Where will it be located? These are fallacies. These are fallacies. We have to sit down, and ministry is to come and serve, not to now look for a title or something like that. So you get prepared and then you begin to serve. It was as Paul was serving, Acts chapter 13, God now came. Separate me, Paul and Barnabas. If there needs to be another separation onto a different work, God will make it clear. Don't separate yourself. And that's where many people get in trouble.
Okay. I think we'll now move on. Now, we need to just tell people, as much as we're letting those in this circumstance know how to get out of it, also want to tell people how not to get here, how to make decisions that will make them not get here in the first place. So let's not limit ourselves to just ladies in ministry, ladies that are successful, whether in ministry, whether in business. How do they not fall into this pit hole of wrong marriages?
Okay. The first thing is that don't be under pressure. Earlier on we talked about societal pressure, and some people, because of societal expectations and pressure, have said yes to anybody that just comes along. Okay, only to regret it, later. So we flog this over and over again. Take time to pray. Okay, if you are really a child of God, there will be confirmations. This is somebody you're going to spend the rest of your life with. Okay, and if the Lord says no, it comes two different ways that this is not the person. Don't say we have already gone too far. Don't say, oh, I'm now 30-something years old, and all that, because it's always better to wait than to enter into the wrong marriage. Okay? The consequences of a bad marriage, it will just leave you completely devastated. So let not people be under pressure. Then the other thing is give it time. Oh, you may think, oh, I've waited and waited. The next person, 6 months, this one, we're ready to go, and all that. It's possible for people to pretend. Okay. All right? Because they have something in mind. And then this person just comes and sweeps you off your feet, and all that. But that's where prayer, is very, very important. As we pray, the Lord will reveal. And then you may know, there will be signs to know that this person is fake and this person is not really genuine. Then I usually tell people, marry somebody who is your friend. Okay? Marriage, first and foremost, is about friendship. And that friendship is supposed to last for a lifetime. So it's not about, oh, is this, is that, is tall, is short, is all those other things that people talk about. You're going to spend the rest of your life with that person. So it's important that first and foremost, that person is a friend. And then from friend, then you can now, okay, this is the person God,
I think these days, they can't wait for the friendship to grow, because, man, I'm 36, I need to get married if I'm 37. Pastor Vera, what do you have to say?
Sometimes she was talking about the warning signs, things that some people ignore the warning signs. The warning signs are there. A guy was talking to me the other time. Unfortunately, he died before he was 40. When he was telling me all the stories going on in his marriage, and I asked him, so when you were in courtship, did God not show you anything? He said he had the same dream thrice. This girl was chasing him with a knife. And when he went to some people, see the kind of dream, they said, let's pray, the devil is trying to break up this relationship. Eventually they got married, and this girl, I mean, the girl told him right off the very first night of the marriage, don't touch me on Monday, don't touch me on Wednesdays, don't touch me on Fridays. This guy said he will sleep on the bed on Monday, he's on the floor on Tuesday morning. He sleeps on the bed on Wednesday night, on Thursday morning he's on the floor, same as Friday night. Then eventually, this girl told him, well, I'm here on an assignment, when I'm done you will know. And before he was 40, so I told him, did you not see any sign? He said, I saw, and well, it was too late. He died.
He couldn't run for his life before that.
Well, okay, what happened was he kept, okay, what do I do now? Let's pray, let's do. But this girl was on an assignment. That's why we need to be careful. Not everyone who comes to church has come to serve God. Some people are agents. They are raw agents. They came to destroy. Some people are unbelievers. They are not agents. So they are just unbelievers. They've heard that you get good girls in church. So they are coming to church to get good girls. But what I always say to those people is that you are greatly mistaken. Because when you go and get the good girls, two of you are from two different kingdoms. So you are going to suffer. The girl is going to suffer. The relationship is not going to work. Because you are from two different kingdoms.
And God will also give you a girl who came sleeping like that.
Oh yeah. Sometimes
you are properly.
No, but sometimes they get the good ones. Yeah.
Yes, we have said it before that before you take the step to get into even courtship, you must hear from God. Some people even suspect that God will not speak to them. Jesus Christ said, my sheep hear my voice. The voice of a stranger they will not hear. You don't even trust God that if you go on praying that He's going to speak to you. So some young people have come to me. Have you prayed? I have prayed. What did you receive? I didn't receive anything. God didn't say no. God didn't say no. Therefore, God is saying yes.
Man, sorry to interrupt you, but you know the real problem is that when we got saved in the 80s, you got to church, they taught you to know God. Yeah. They taught you to grow in the things of the Spirit of God. They taught you to hear God. But you go to church these days, it's all prosperity, 7 keys to success, and all that. The people are not growing spiritually.
They don't know how to hear
so
God.
They don't know how to. That is the problem. So telling them to hear God, it's a far cry from what they know. They can't hear God.
And is this great about membership? 5,000 members, 10,000, let everybody come in. And if you preach the raw message, you are going to go out. You don't want to go out. You want to tithe and offering to get bigger.
Now they are going somewhere else.
So let them stay. Let them stay. Give them positions.
Okay, okay. So far you keep them. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Pastor Paul Percy Pana
Okay.
posted something.
Oh, yeah.
He got the revelation. God was lamenting. Said they have taken the church
from my hand. Yeah.
All these ones that go by my ministry. God is not in it, and God is lamenting. And that's the position of the church now. That may God help us to give the church back to the owner.
What's the best decision, or one of the best decisions you've ever made in your life, or maybe a bad decision you made that you came out of, apart from giving your life to Christ? Okay, in 45 seconds. One of the best was giving your life to Christ. We understand, but one of the best decisions you made.
Maybe I'll say marry my husband.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mama. Your turn.
You asked me before you're coming again. Well, in order not to repeat what she has said, having children.
Okay, Ma.
I would say marry my husband, having children, respond to God in the ministry.
Oh God, that's too already. Okay, thank you very much. We had a wonderful time. Now, if you need to ask more questions, you could just go straight to their social media handles. It's showing all 3 of them. Ask as many questions as you want. As you said, don't die in silence. Speak out to someone. They are there to help you. Thank you very much, man. We really had a good time. Thank you for watching. Have a nice week. Bye.
No home, thinking all is lost. You look so sad. Do you really know how beautiful you are? The Spirit of the Lord